Do you feel like your energy has dropped, your desire has disappeared, and your body no longer responds as it used to? It could be that the problem isn't in your age, but in your hormones. In this eye-opening video, you'll learn how testosterone and estrogen, the hormones of youth, remain essential after age 60 for both men and women. Discover the invisible signs of hormonal imbalance, the habits that mute your vitality, and most importantly, how to naturally activate these hormones with a simple and powerful 24-hour routine. You don't need expensive formulas, chemical replacements, or crazy diets. You just need the right triggers so that your own body can once again produce what it has always known how to do: vitality, desire, strength, clarity, and well-being. Get ready to discover the foods that wake up your hormones every day. The best type of exercise to activate testosterone. Naturally, the biggest hormonal saboteurs hidden in your routine. How to keep your sex drive alive after 60, and the practical plan to keep it all running over the years. If you want to grow old with autonomy, ease, and pleasure, watch until the end. This video can change the way you live and the way you feel about your own body. Have you ever wondered why some people, even after their 60s, continue to have plenty of energy, firm skin, good humor, and even a high sex drive, while others seem to lose their shine, energy, and vitality in a matter of just a few years? The answer, in most cases, does not lie in expensive medicines or miracles, but rather in how the body deals with the hormones of youth, testosterone and estrogen. These two names may seem distant or complicated, but the truth is that they are at the heart of everything that makes the body function well, age slowly, and live with pleasure. They are what keep the libido alive, the bones firm, the muscles active, the heart protected, and the brain sharp. But after 50, and especially after 60, the production of these hormones begins to decrease. And that is when the body starts to show signs: loss of muscle mass, chronic fatigue, gain of abdominal fat, mood swings, irregular sleep, and of course, a decrease in sexual desire. But there is good news. There are natural and proven ways to stimulate these hormones, without artificial replacements, without medication, and without relying on miracle formulas. These are simple changes in lifestyle, diet, and daily routine that, combined, can reactivate the body's hormonal strength and transform the way you age. And it all starts with an essential understanding. Testosterone is not just a male hormone, and estrogen is not just a female hormone. Both are important for both sexes, and the balance between them is what defines how much the body will be able to remain active, functional, and full in old age. Testosterone, for example, is directly linked to physical strength, sexual desire, bone density, and mental clarity. In men, it is produced mainly in the testicles, but also in small quantities in the adrenal glands. In women, it is also produced, to a lesser extent, in the ovaries and glands, but it plays a fundamental role in sexual desire, daily energy, and even cardiovascular health. Estrogen, which is often associated only with fertility, goes far beyond that. It helps keep the skin hydrated, the brain alert, blood vessels healthy, and joints flexible. When it drops drastically, which occurs during menopause, women experience hot flashes, irritability, vaginal dryness, insomnia, and even memory lapses. But men also need estrogen in balanced levels. A man with very low estrogen may suffer from loss of libido, mood swings, and even circulation problems. Therefore, rather than replacing hormones with capsules or injections, the secret is to retrain the body to produce what it was once capable of producing on its own. The first step in this process is to understand that the modern lifestyle, full of stress, poor sleep, processed foods, and a sedentary lifestyle, is what most harms natural hormone production. Let's start with sleep. Did you know that most of your testosterone and estrogen are produced during deep sleep, and that a single night of poor sleep can reduce your levels of these hormones by up to 30% the next day? That's why rest needs to be a priority. Getting a good night's sleep, at least 7 hours a night, in a dark room, without screens around, and at a regular pace, is like giving your body permission to regenerate its hormone factory every night. Then comes diet. Certain foods have a direct effect on hormone production. For example, ultra-processed foods, rich in sugar, refined vegetable oils, and white flour, are major saboteurs of hormonal balance. They inflame the body, increase insulin resistance, and hinder the action of natural hormones. On the other hand, whole natural foods such as eggs, fatty fish, such as salmon and sardines, nuts, avocado, extra virgin olive oil, pumpkin and flax seeds, cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli and cabbage, and berries are true hormonal allies. They provide what the body needs to produce and balance testosterone and estrogen intelligently without forcing it. There are also foods that act as phytohormones, that is, natural compounds that mimic the action of hormones in the body, but in a safe and balanced way. A classic example is fermented organic soy, rich in isoflavones that bind to estrogen receptors and help alleviate the symptoms of menopause. Another example is Peruvian maca, a traditional root from the Andes that stimulates the natural production of testosterone and improves disposition, mood, and sexual desire in both men and women. But the most overlooked food when it comes to hormones is good fat. Many seniors have been taught to fear fat, especially saturated fat. However, sex hormones are made from cholesterol. Without quality fat in your diet, your body simply doesn't have the raw materials to produce them. So including olive oil, natural coconut oil, whole eggs, avocado, and even a small amount of quality butter in your daily diet may be just what your body needs to get back on track. And then comes movement. Physical exercise not only activates the metabolism, but also directly stimulates the production of testosterone. But not just any exercise. The best ones for this purpose are strength training, such as weight training, weight-bearing Pilates, resistance exercises with elastic bands or your own body weight. Just 2 to 3 workouts per week with good intensity are enough to activate the hormone receptors and reactivate the youth cycle. But if you're the type who prefers gentler activities, there are also alternatives. Morning walks outside not only help regulate sleep and improve mood, but also increase the production of vitamin D, which in turn is essential for hormonal balance. In addition, walking in the sun activates the hypothalamic pituitary hormonal axis, regulating not only sex hormones, but also stress hormones. And speaking of stress, the biggest silent enemy of vitality after 60 is called cortisol. Cortisol is the chronic stress hormone, and it literally inhibits the production of testosterone and estrogen. In other words, the more anxiety, tension, constant worry, the lower your vitality will be. Therefore, practices such as guided meditation, conscious breathing, breaks during the day, and even meaningful conversations with loved ones are not luxuries. They are natural hormone treatments. Imagine waking up with a light body. No joint pain, no inexplicable tiredness that steals the start of the day. You feel hungry, but a good, controlled hunger. Your intestines work as they should. Your memory seems sharper. The desire to live is there, pulsing. This scenario, which many believe is impossible after 60, is the result of a hormonal system working in balance. And most importantly, it can start with a simple routine, adapted to your day. Today, you will learn about a practical 24-hour routine that awakens the hormones of youth, especially testosterone and estrogen, with actions that can be applied even if you are starting from scratch. 0530. Wake up with natural light and lemon water. Wake up calmly but firmly. No repeated naps or frightened by loud alarms. If possible, wake up with daylight coming in through the window. This helps the brain regulate the hormonal axis that controls not only sleep, but also sex hormones. Start the day with a glass of warm water with the juice of half a lemon. This practice helps the liver activate hormonal metabolism. After all, the liver is the one that metabolizes the hormones used. A sluggish liver equals a stagnant hormonal system. 060. Rhythmic walk in the sun. Nothing is more powerful for stimulating hormone production than the morning sun. Walking for 20 to 30 minutes at a moderate pace activates the production of vitamin D, which is essential for the synthesis of testosterone and estrogen. And not only that, the sun activates the biological clock, improves mood, and prepares the body for a day with more energy. Make this walk a ritual. Go alone to meditate or with someone to talk to. The most important thing is to move consistently. 070. Hormone boosting breakfast. Your first meal of the day should be functional. No sugar, no white bread, no processed grains. Ideally, it should be a meal rich in protein, good fats, and antioxidants. Breakfast example: 2 boiled or scrambled eggs with extra virgin olive oil, 2 spoons of avocado with lemon and flax seeds, a slice of whole wheat bread with natural fermentation, or 2 spoons of oats hydrated with vegetable milk, a Peruvian maca tea with cinnamon, without sugar. This combination provides choline, zinc, omega-3, and fiber, all essential for the production and regulation of sex hormones. 9. Exposure to meaningful tasks. You may be wondering, what does this have to do with hormones? Everything. Testosterone is associated with purpose, achievement, productivity. When you perform tasks that make sense, your body understands that it needs energy, focus, and libido. This releases dopamine and consequently increases testosterone production. So don't waste your morning being passive. Choose a task: tending to the garden, writing, solving an unfinished business, learning something new. Your brain will thank you, and so will your body. 11. Snack with live seed. Avoid ultra-processed foods. Opt for a snack that activates natural estrogen, especially if you are a woman. Ideal option: a natural yogurt with a teaspoon of pumpkin seeds and a teaspoon of hydrated chia, or a small portion of organic tofu with olive oil and herbs, or a handful of nuts and fresh strawberries. Pumpkin seeds are very rich in zinc, which directly participates in the conversion of cholesterol into testosterone. Chia and tofu provide lignans and isoflavones, which balance estrogen. 12:30. Anti-inflammatory and pro-hormonal lunch. Your plate needs to be colorful, with real food. Example of an ideal dish: a generous portion of steamed vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini. A clean protein: grilled fish, free-range chicken or boiled egg. A spoonful of extra virgin olive oil as a final dressing. A small portion of brown rice or quinoa. Dessert: a square of 70% cocoa chocolate or half an apple with cinnamon. Avoid soda, juices, and sweet desserts. They disrupt insulin regulation, and disrupted insulin disrupts your hormones. 1:30 p.m. Quick and conscious nap. Taking a nap for 15 to 30 minutes after lunch improves cortisol balance and stimulates hormonal regeneration. It's been proven that short naps help with hormonal recovery, especially if you've had a bad night's sleep. Just don't go longer than 30 minutes, so you don't enter a deep sleep cycle and wake up groggy. 15. Hydration. Cognitive activation. Drink a glass of water with a pinch of pink salt and lemon juice. This mixture improves cellular absorption and keeps the body alert. Then, activate your mind. Read an article, do a crossword puzzle, learn something new. The brain also influences your hormones. An active brain protects the neurohormonal axis. 17. Low-impact physical activity. Plus, conscious breathing. Do 20 minutes of functional exercise. It could be a simple sequence of squats, stretches, jumping jacks, or even free dancing. Move your body lightly but consciously. Then, lie down for 5 minutes with your eyes closed, breathing slowly, and try to repeat in your mind: my body strengthens, my hormones balance, my energy is renewed. It may seem simple, but the mind commands the body, and the body responds. 19. Light dinner, focusing on nighttime recovery. Your dinner should prepare your body for sleep and regeneration. Suggestion: a vegetable soup with chickpeas or lentils, an omelet with spinach and turmeric, a chamomile tea with ginger and mint. No sweet fruits at night. They interfere with the release of melatonin. Avoid eating dinner late. The closer to sunset, the better hormonal recovery will be. 21. Hormonal switch-off ritual. Turn off bright lights. Turn off screens. Take a warm bath and, if possible, massage your feet with coconut oil or lavender oil. This calms the nervous system and prepares the pineal gland to release melatonin, which is, in fact, the trigger for the production of nocturnal sex hormones. Before bed, practice positive hormonal visualization. With your eyes closed, imagine your body as a factory with gears glowing. Visualize hormones being released like light, traveling to your bones, muscles, heart, and brain. Feel your body regenerating. This creates a state of receptivity that directly influences the brain-body axis. 22 and errors. Sleep in a dark and quiet room. Sleeping in total darkness, at a comfortable temperature and without noise, activates the release of testosterone and estrogen between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. It is during this period that your body literally rebuilds itself. This routine isn't magic, but it is powerful. With consistency, it transforms not only your hormone levels, but also the way you feel, act, and live. In the next section, we'll learn how to measure your hormones naturally, including noticing your body's signals, and when it's time to seek out a professional to help you achieve balance safely. Because yes, aging is inevitable, but losing vitality is not. Knowing what to do is essential, but recognizing when your body is asking for help is even more important. Because hormonal imbalance doesn't start suddenly. It announces itself little by little, with subtle signs, small warnings that, if ignored, grow until they become symptoms that take over your routine. Understanding these signs is what allows you to act early, consciously, and avoid bigger problems. And the first step is to stop thinking that tiredness, discouragement, loss of libido, or weight gain are just things that come with age. Age brings changes, yes, but the human body was made to adapt, not to fail. When there is a collapse in vitality, it is a sign that something is out of balance, and most of the time, that something is called imbalanced sexual hormones. Let's start with the most common signs of declining testosterone after age 60, in both men and women. 1. Unexplained chronic fatigue. Waking up already tired, even after a full night's sleep, is one of the first signs. The body does not produce enough energy because the metabolism is slow. Without enough testosterone, the muscles do not recover, strength decreases, and the body always feels out of order. 2. Loss of sexual interest or difficulty responding. This symptom is more common among men, but it also has a profound effect on women. It's not just the desire that disappears. Sensitivity, lubrication, and even the ability to achieve pleasure decrease. Many women think this is a natural part of menopause, but it's actually a symptom of an avoidable imbalance. 3. Gaining abdominal fat and losing muscle mass. Testosterone is one of the most anabolic hormones in the body. When it drops, muscles become thinner, tone decreases, and fat accumulates, especially in the abdominal region. And what's worse, this accumulation of fat makes the imbalance even worse, since visceral fat directly interferes with hormone production. 4. Difficulty concentrating, poor memory, and mental discouragement. You forget simple things, take a long time to find words, and feel your mind slow. This is often mistaken for getting older, but the truth is that the brain also responds to sex hormones. Testosterone and estrogen protect neural connections and regulate neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin. 5. Irritability, mood swings, and anxiety for no apparent reason. When estrogen levels drop in women or testosterone levels fluctuate in men, moods become unbalanced. The body loses its emotional balance. You feel more impatient, cry more easily, and get irritated by small things. These are hormones crying out for help. 6. Hair loss and weak nails. Both estrogen and testosterone are involved in the health of hair follicles. When hormone levels drop, the scalp loses strength. Hair becomes thinner and more brittle. Nails flake, chip easily, and grow more slowly. 7. Changes in sleep. Insomnia, difficulty sleeping deeply, or waking up several times during the night are signs of hormonal imbalance. A balanced body sleeps easily and wakes up refreshed. If this does not happen, the hormones are out of balance. These signs don't all appear at once, but when two or more appear together and persist for weeks, it's time to be on alert. And if you're wondering if it's possible to monitor your hormones without expensive tests or relying on clinics, the answer is yes, at least in part. Self-assessment of your body and emotions is the first test you need to do. Take time to observe. How has your desire to live, your disposition, and your libido been in the last 30 days? How do you wake up? Feeling energized or feeling like you're always in debt to sleep? Are you losing lean mass even with a healthy diet? Have you been feeling more impatient, distracted, or anxious for no clear reason? How are your nails, hair, and skin? How is your appetite for pleasure, whether it be food, affection, conversation, movement? The answers to these questions already provide a clear picture of your hormonal state. Your body speaks, but it speaks in subtle language. You need to relearn how to listen. Now, when should you seek professional help? 1. When symptoms interfere with quality of life. If you feel like you are living on autopilot, with a feeling of apathy, constant sadness, unexplained pain, memory loss, or lack of pleasure, it is time to see an endocrinologist, a functional geriatrician, or a doctor who focuses on hormonal longevity. 2. When there is a family history of hormonal imbalance or hormone-sensitive diseases. If your family has cases of osteoporosis, premature sexual dysfunction, cardiovascular problems, or chronic depression, hormones may be at the heart of the cause, and acting early can prevent serious consequences. 3. When you've tried lifestyle changes and haven't seen results. If you've been eating well, sleeping well, and exercising, and your symptoms still haven't improved, there may be deeper blockages, such as androgen resistance, metabolic syndrome, chronic inflammation, or micronutrient deficiencies that are preventing hormone production. 4. When you are ready to monitor wisely what really matters. The most common tests to assess sex hormones include total and free testosterone, estrogens, estradiol, estrone, progesterone, important in men too, SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, DHEA, testosterone precursor hormone, cortisol, insulin, and vitamin D, because it's all connected. But be careful, interpreting these tests requires more than just numbers. Many doctors rely solely on reference ranges, which are population averages, and not necessarily the ideal range for you. A good professional will interpret the results based on your symptoms, age, personal history, and lifestyle. Hormone replacement therapy, when necessary, can be an ally, but it is not the first option. It is a fine-tuning. Before replacing hormones, it is necessary to investigate the cause. Why did your hormones drop? Is there something sabotaging your body internally? Is it inflammation? Is it stress? Is it poor quality sleep? And here is the bottom line. There is no lasting vitality without body awareness. The real secret to rejuvenation is not a magic formula, but the ability to observe, understand, and act wisely. Now that you understand how youth hormones work, how to recognize them in your body, and how to activate them naturally, it's time to answer the most important question of all. How can you keep all of this working stably over the years? Because more important than a one-week boost of motivation is building habits that sustain your vitality beyond the initial enthusiasm. And here's the key. Your body wants to work with you. It's not against you. Even after 60, your body remains an adaptive machine, ready to respond when you send it the right signals. Let's start by understanding what you should avoid. The big, invisible hormonal saboteurs that infiltrate your daily life without being noticed, and slowly silence your energy, desire, and clarity. Saboteur 1. Hidden excess. Sugar. Even those who have already eliminated sugar from their table may be consuming huge amounts without realizing it. Whole grain breads with molasses, juices in cartons, ready-made sauces, fitness cookies, all of these things cause glucose spikes. And what does this do? It disrupts insulin. And when insulin is disrupted, testosterone plummets. Estrogen levels go haywire. The body starts storing fat in strategic locations, like the abdomen and thighs, and vitality goes downhill. Saboteur 2. Lack of purpose. This may seem subjective, but it is absolutely hormonal. People who do not feel useful, who do not have goals, projects, or motivations, begin to produce less dopamine, the engagement hormone. And without dopamine, the body understands that it does not need to maintain high energy levels. Result: apathy, fatigue, loss of libido. What does this show? That having a hobby, a personal project, or simply being part of something bigger is more powerful than you might think. Saboteur 3. Sitting all day. The human body was made to move. Sitting for hours every day without a break blocks lymphatic flow, reduces tissue oxygenation, and interferes with the production of DHEA, a key precursor to testosterone. A 3-minute break every 60 minutes of sitting is a game changer. Stand up, stretch your arms, take a deep breath, walk around. It's simple and powerful. Saboteur 4. Constant alcohol consumption, even in small doses. Many people believe that a glass of wine a day is healthy. But alcohol, even in small and continuous amounts, interferes with liver function, and the liver is the organ responsible for metabolizing hormones. Alcohol also reduces levels of zinc and magnesium, two essential nutrients for the production of testosterone and estrogen. The rule is clear: if you want to maintain hormonal youth, alcohol needs to be an exception, not a habit. Saboteur 5. Lack of intimacy with one's own body. Yes, disconnection from oneself also makes hormones sick. When a person stops touching their own body, looking at themselves with respect, practicing self-care, including pleasure, they send the brain a signal that it no longer needs to produce anything. The brain responds by reducing the release of sexual hormones. Maintaining contact with the body, stimulating conscious touch, and restoring desire with affection, even if only gradually, is essential to keeping the hormonal system alive. Now that we know what to avoid, let's get to the practical 5-step maintenance plan. It doesn't require money, but it does require consistency. Think of it as a daily guide to keeping your body in youthful mode, even with wrinkles, gray hair, and signs of aging. Step 1. Protein, good fat, and fiber in every meal. At each meal, think, is there protein here? Is there good fat? Is there fiber? Example, for breakfast, eggs, protein, avocado, fat, and seeds, fiber. For lunch, fish, olive oil, and vegetables. For dinner, lentil soup, olive oil, and green leaves. These 3 elements are the basis of any pro-hormonal diet. Step 2. Daily movement. Even for 10 minutes, you don't have to go to the gym, but you do need to move every day. Take the stairs, walk around the house with more rhythm, do a short sequence of jumping jacks, squats, or stretches when you wake up. The body that moves is the body that sends the signal. I need testosterone, I need estrogen, I need energy. Step 3. Daily exposure to natural sunlight. All it takes is 15 minutes, preferably before 10 a.m. Natural light activates the production of serotonin, improves sleep, regulates cortisol, and stimulates the synthesis of vitamin D, one of the most important components of hormonal balance. And the best part, it's free. Step 4. Nighttime wind-down ritual. Before going to bed, turn off your screens. Turn off bright lights. Drink an herbal tea, like chamomile or passion flower. Take a deep breath and prepare your body for sleep. Hormonal regeneration happens during the early morning hours, but only if you sleep deeply. Invest in your bedroom. It's your nighttime recovery spa. Step 5. Intimate contact with pleasure. In any form. Pleasure is not just sexuality. It is looking in the mirror and liking yourself. It is listening to a song that gives you goosebumps. It is receiving affection. It is allowing yourself to smile, touch, breathe with presence. Pleasure stimulates dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and all of this favors the balance of youthful hormones. And here's a bonus. If you want to enhance all of this with a natural supplement, talk to your doctor about Peruvian maca, Tribulus terrestris, ashwagandha, evening primrose oil, vitamin D3, and magnesium. These compounds, if well dosed and monitored, help to stabilize hormone production safely, especially if you are in a transition phase, such as menopause or andropause. We've reached the end of this video. And you might be wondering, is there still time? The answer is yes. There is always time. Your body is smart, and it responds quickly when it's treated with respect. Every decision you make today, whether you eat, move, rest, or even think, tells your body whether it should age or flourish. And now that you've learned all this, the invitation is simple. Take care of your hormones again like you would take care of a garden, with patience, with presence, and with the certainty that even after 60 you can still flourish.